Welcome to the next video in our Proxmox series. So in this video, we are going to install pfSense. There will be some basic configuration that we'll have to do when we install it, but we will not do the web-based configuration. So we will just be installing pfSense at this point. So to install pfSense, we follow pretty much the same process as we have with the previous virtual machines. So we start at the node PVE, and then we go to create VM, and we'll just name it pfSense to make it simple. Now this is Linux, so we're going to keep that the same, and we're going down to pfSense ISO, and then we'll select next. We will use the QEMU agent. Don't need a whole lot of space on this. I will bump it up to 50. Would change that to 2 core. And we can probably save a little on the memory here, but I'm going to go up to 4. Right now we're just going with the basics. We will add some adapters later. And we'll select finish. Now we go back to our main interface. So what we want to do now is to set up some additional adapters on our pfSense. So what we need is a total of 4 adapters. One is for the WAN, and the rest will be for the 3 segmented networks that we'll have. And at this point, we're just going to add them. And then we will configure them in just a little bit. This one, we want to edit that just because we do not want firewall. All right, so we have a total of 4 adapters. Now we can configure pfSense. This is updated. We can go ahead and start it. We will go ahead and accept. And we do want to install. So we will select OK to begin our setup. Okay, we want to select OK for the WAN. At this point, we will continue. And next, what we want to do is assign the LAN. And we will go with the Community Edition. We will continue. We don't want any redundancy at this time. All right, and then we will select yes. And we will select OK. And this install may take a minute or two. we'll pause the video during this process. So once that is completed, we can go ahead and select OK. Select reboot. Now we'll select no at this point. Now we are asked if we want to set up the WAN interface, and it gives us our options. We will select BTnet 0 for the WAN. For the LAN, we will set up BTnet 1. For optional 1, BTnet 2. And for optional 2, of course, BTnet 3. Now we'll change these in the interface when we get it set up. At this point, do we want to proceed? We will select yes. Okay, so now what we want to do is go ahead and set up our interfaces. So we'll select number 2. And we'll select number 2 again because we're going to set up that first or the second interface LAN. We're not going to do anything with the WAN at this point. Do not want to set it up by DHCP. We want to give it the new IP address. So we're going to make this 10.0.1.1. This will be a 24-bit subnet. And just select enter. We do not want IPv6. We do want to enable DHCP. And we want the start of that address to be 10.0.1.2. In the end, we want it to be 10.0.1.245. We want to select no. So now you see we have the LAN address range set up. We want to do it again. So now we're setting up the interface. So we select number 2 again. This time we're going for the OPT1. So we'll select 3. Select no on DHCP. We're going to go 10.0.2.1. Will be 24-bit. You can select enter. We do not want IPv6. We do want to set DHCP on this particular server, and we want the IP range to start at 10.0.2.2. And we want it to end at 10.0.2.245. We do not want it to revert. So now that brings us, we need to set up one more. So we'll select number 2 again on a set interface IP. This time we'll select number 4, the one that we haven't set up yet. We do not want to set it up by DHCP. And we'll go with 10.0.3.1. We want it to be 24-bit. We can just select enter. We do not want the IPv6. We do want to set up DHCP. We'll start at 10.0.3.2. And the top of the range will be 10.0.3.245. All right, so it looks like we've got everything set up. And if we look at the overall setup that we currently have, so we have the WAN going out to this 192 address, and then for our 3 adapters for network segments, we got the .1, .2, .3 network ranges. That's as far as we'll go in this video. And then in a future video, we will use the web interface to finish the final configuration for a firewall.